Hey everyone, welcome to my channel again. Today I'm going to take you through one of my favorite pieces of software, Vinci Resolve, made by Black Magic Design. These guys are an Australian company and I'm very, very proud of what they've done here. I've used many different video edit programs doing content for my channel, including stuff from Apple and Adobe, and so I have used the iMovie in early days and things like that as well. I think that this one here is probably the best thing you could get for free if you're downloading, if you're doing any content video editing, even up to professional guys, really. DaVinci Resolve, there is a link in the description, so go and get it if you haven't got it. It's fantastic in color grading, probably top of the line in color grading. Just ask around, it's fantastic. And the free version works absolutely fantastically. You can buy the full studio version, which I have here, but I mean, I'll just be showing you the basics today. And for those who are just diving straight in, who have used maybe some other video editors in the past and need to know some of the basics of this so you can jump in and start working straight away, I'm here to help you do that. So I'm an audio guy showing you how to use a video editing software. Crazy, I know, but hey, look, I wear many hats, and I love to use this program. I love to show people how to do things like this, and Darren's just here to try and be helpful, right? Let's dive in. You're looking at the basic window. I'll just show you what's going to be happening. Down here is my different modes. So I've got media mode where I can just drag in all my different video clips, audio clips, anything that I want in here, maybe JPEGs if they're logos or anything like that. So whatever I put in here, whether it be video, audio, or pictures, it's just in my bucket of tools to use. After that, you're in a mode which is cut, which is a lot mainly used for trimming the bits that you've thrown in that media part, just trimming out all of the bits you don't like out of them. I generally do most of that cutting in the edit timeline. So in edit mode, this is the mode you'll probably be diving into first. Following that one in the modes is Fusion. Fusion is where the really cool tricks happen. A lot of this is advanced, and you'll probably want to have a look at some of the Fusion videos out there to get into that. I'm not going to go into Fusion today because we're just doing the basics. Color grading, you probably will want to know how most of this here works. This is a very, very powerful color grading piece of software, even the free one. And of course, the free DaVinci Resolve does not limit you as far as your delivery. You can output as many files as you like. There's just a few editing, bits and infusion that you don't have, tricks, animation, things like that. In the free version, you don't get. So color, somewhere where you're definitely going to be. You're going to be in our timeline, edit, color, and you're going to probably be in the deliver mode in the end. The one in between is Fairlight, where your audio mix will appear. Depending on how many video tracks you have, you'll see an audio fader, mono or stereo, depending on what audio files attached to each, and you can mix them. If you've got a microphone, you can mix all of those things together, add EQ and some noise gates, compression, anything like that. So that's your audio mixer, and deliver is where you deliver your final, name it, and spit it out as a full file. So let's start in edit mode, right? Edit mode is where I would definitely want you to start because we're starting to work straight away. I will just show you what you're looking at. Up here, I can press media pool, and anything that I have thrown in the media pool will appear here. If I don't want this to, if I still want my timeline edit to go over here, I just click on this little window in the corner there and it pushes the media pool up. It's a good, cool little trick. Effects, which is your basic, look, you've got your transitions, titles, things like, you know, if you've been in iMovie and stuff like that, titles, you just drag them in, and titles work pretty easy. Color generators, basic effects, right? Open effects is where you get more of, you know, your cooler stuff. Like I use my 3D Kia version, you know, for my green screen stuff and everything in here, and like noise reduction in my more advanced thing to get rid of some noise, you know, pixelation on some low res GoPro shots or anything like that. So effects, you probably need a little bit of that because that's always fun. Index is where your edits were, so whatever edit you've done, so you can always go back and get rid of an edit and sort of, you know, help. It's like an undo steps. And sound library if you've downloaded the free DaVinci sound library. That's worth getting as well, by the way. Okay, let's start with, let's just get rid of all of those things and just drag a video straight in to our edit mode. All right, I'll just grab this is a iPhone recording of a song that we did. This first thing that comes up is going to ask me, because this is the highest res shot that I've got in my cameras, I always put the highest res one in first. The reason is I want my project to be at the highest resolution output in the end, so I put in, you know, this is shot at 4K at 50 frames per second, so I put it in first, and I changed the project's frame rate to this. It's probably defaulted on 25. This one's at 50. I can't change my mind here. So if you say don't change, it's going to play it back at 25 and you can't change it. Right? So I choose to, because I can always dumb it down to 25 when I go into the deliver mode. So I'm at high res 50 frames a second. The decision here also, you might want to keep it at 25 because maybe your computer's really slow and editing is impossible when you're dealing with files at high frame rates. Let's have a look at what we're seeing now. We see up here we've got a bit of a media box that's just appeared. I can get rid of that if I like. I can see the video itself by just dragging this little red bar. Hopefully it's not going to go over any swearing. I can change the width of what I'm looking at. Obviously down the bottom, these green things are the audio files. Notice there's a little lock icon on both of those that shows that they're linked together. If I right mouse click, I can unlink them and move one independently of the other. You probably want to do that. I'll just undo that. You probably want to do that in case something was out of sync, or sometimes GoPros can record in some modes and the audio is slightly out of sync and you might want to nudge it and then relink them again. And you can also turn up by just rolling your mouse over here. You can just see a little up and down volume switcher. I also hold the Option key on my Mac here and just touch my magic mouse at just left and right, and it zooms in and out. So that's also a very cool trick, just holding Option to zoom. So it'll go to where your cursor is, zooming in. So I know that our take is going to start over here. So I'll just move my timeline. Notice how I just grabbed that and just click and drag. Grab the whole thing, pull it back to the beginning. Let's zoom in, holding Option, and find a suitable beginning to our video.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I think that's not too bad. Let's maybe just give it a little bit more room.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Notice that I've got some letterbox bars up the top and bottom of my video. That's because we're looking at a 16:9 square up here, 16:9 rectangle, and our video is a widescreen anamorphic, using an anamorphic lens on my iPhone. So if I was to go into the information, so I go back to the actual file that I've dragged in, this one here, I go back to it in the Finder and I go Command I, and it drops this window here, tells me that its dimensions are 4030 by 1704. So I will just go to my project settings and I'll put that over here, 4030 1704. Press save and we're running full screen now. So that's going to be my output resolution of the final video. It's anamorphic. When people play it back on like an iPhone or anything, it'll cover the whole screen, but when they play it on a great big TV or something, it might have some letterbox bits, but it's nice and wide, and I'm using the full resolution of my best file. All right, so that's just the way I do it. But if you're in normal 4K 16:9, you would want those project settings to say 3840, 3840 by 2160, I think it is, for your normal 4K. I'm running 50 frames. You know, it's the timeline here. I might want to play it back at less frame rates. That's pretty cool because at least it will take less DSP on your computer. So if your computer's acting a bit slow, you know, let's just, you know, you can drop that to 25. I'm running on a 1080p monitor here to show you this tutorial. So it's running back at 1080 resolution for me to watch. Okay. Let's now explore some other things in the, you know, like maybe some color. Forget fusion, let's go over to color. And let's do a couple of a basic color lesson for you. Over here on the right on the scopes, that's showing me the balance of your main three colors, red, green, and blue. And we're not going to change any other views here. We're just going to go straight in with the normal wheels here, because I think that this will give you a basic idea of, you know, you've got full brightness and darkness. You have these ones here, color boost, shadows, highlights, saturations, your hue, your luma mix, mid detail where you soften it up, girls. There it is. Oh, all those wrinkles are gone. Look at that. Leave that one on 0 for the old blokes. Pivot, which is pivot is like an offset, similar to your offset, where you're going to just change direction in an edit. Contrast. Pretty self-explanatory. Tint between your pink and your green tint. That's a very and of course that's very, very handy when you get lost. The tint can get you back to normal. Temperature between cold and hot. Okay, I'm going to color grade this one the way I like it. It's the song is The Heat Is On, so I would want it to be a little hotter. I would definitely push the contrast so that my blacks are blacker and my, you know, the contrast is basically the distance between the brightest and the darkest element. So just find where I like it, and then we go through to color boost. Got some good blues over here. Maybe add a little bit of green here in the mid. So let's push it extreme so you can see what's happening here. The green can give me the nice, you know, I sort of want the white. I can get an automatic by just going, let's go auto, or I can get the eyedropper, show it where a white is, and it'll, you know, do a white balance that way. That is a pretty cool little trick, but you know, I like to overstate my colors, and you know, once I'm happy with the color of that shot, probably a little bright. Because I can move away from a certain color. If I think I've got too much of this sort of, I mean, it seems I've got a lot of whites. pull down because I want to get rid of some of that burn in my face here. Add a little bit more temperature to make up for it. Mid details down a bit just to soften a little bit. Maybe that's my choice. I can throw another camera in the mix and color grade it to this one to get it close. I think I've got a shot here that looks like it's a GoPro that was on the saxophone. Let's just zoom out, right out, and throw our saxophone clip in, just drag it in. And you'll see the audio to it as well. I'll pick the beginning and the end of the take. Push it upwards, lay it on top. Then we'll just go back here, zoom back in, and now we want to line them up just using their audio file waveforms. So we'll just open this one up a bit. If I solo the audio on this one, solo on the saxophone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So there's our crash cymbal when it goes, first beat's right there. Solo the other one and have a listen to it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that is where our first hit is right there. So I can just drag the right one into sync. So basically I can just solo one of them and both of them are in sync. Turn it on and off to check. Okay, so we're both in sync now. I'll just pull the beginning of that track all the way back to the beginning so that they start at exactly the same point. Notice how the top one is showing. It's on top of video 1. Video 2 is laid on top, so it takes precedent. It appears on top. Now, it's in a different ratio. It's not in anamorphic wide, so I would want to zoom in on that. So over here in your inspector, just choose video. So you just select the one that you want. It's red there. That's the GoPro shot. Zoom. I just grab this one here on whatever decibel I want and just move to the right and zoom it to where I like it. I might want to zoom in a little bit, further. The position here is backwards and forwards on where you want it. So I might want to put the sax more in the middle. And I might want to put, remember he would probably step up, yep, and play. I might want to move up and down depending on how much of the saxophone I want to show. And if I want to color grade it, of course, I hit the color while it's selected, go to color and grade it. Now, before I do any editing on this, before I switch it in and out of, because I can just slice it up and turn on little bits of it to come into the shot. Before I do that, I want to color grade it first. It'll save me having to color grade every single edit. But at some time, you're going to make this mistake. You're going to slice out one of these, color grade it, and go, whoops, I should have color graded the whole thing first. Let me show you a trick. Because you already know how to color grade a shot basically in color mode, let me show you a trick that will help you color grade multiple shots after you've made an edit. First, we're going to edit this shot in. We're going to leave it in as the first shot.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're going to make it, as soon as the saxophone finishes, from here we're going to get out of this shot into the next. So I'm going to press B for blade, right? I can either click it here or, your basic mode is selection mode A. B is for blade mode, so B. I'll just cut it here, go back to A, select the bit after and press D, right? Because D is enable clip, enable or disable clip. So D switches clips on and off. So there's my opening shot. Now, if I want it, that's a pretty drastic edit. It's just going to cut, and the video that's below it's just going to appear. Or I can use that little white tab right there and bring that back, and it'll do a dissolve, a long one, or a little short dissolve just on the end. Sometimes it's good just to go over a beat. You can see one beat, you know, and sort of just one duration of one beat, perhaps if you're doing music video stuff. So you get the idea. So I can find another bit where the sax plays. So here's another bit where it goes. I'll press B for blade. I will press A and D. Turn on the clip. And slice it out again. B for blade. A, select, D. So switching, I'm only just turning on the one here. I'll just do a little bit of a slide in and out, dissolve in and out. So now that sax bit happens throughout the song. One more time, and at the end. Now I won't do all of those edits for you now, but I will show you how to do your color grade, you know, match. Let's do, say, one more, the one over here at the end. That's just B, blade, bang. I'm doing that the beat before I want it to come in. A, because I want it to take one whole beat to... And then out by here, blade, bing, A, D, shooting back. So now this is a nice colourful shot, this one, and that one's looking a bit drab. If I haven't already graded the whole lot of it, and I decide, well, even to make a change, I just make sure that my timeline is laying over the top of the shot that I want to grade. Press the color button. Let's go in and grade it. Let's just go. I think that the contrast is pretty good. Color boost. It's got a lot of green reflections. Maybe add a little bit of blue. Let's a bit of red just to make that floor pop a bit more. Once I'm happy with the way that I've got that, so if I look at that one compared to one of the previous ones that haven't been color graded, this one over here, you can see that that's a bit lifeless. If this is the color that I'm going for, in my color mode, I right mouse click and say grab still. Now up here, the gallery. So that one just shows me a few little seconds of it. The gallery still. What happens is that can be applied to any other shot. So I go over another shot, go back to my color wheel, hover over it, check this out. See how the color changes? Right mouse, apply grade. Same thing here, go back to the beginning, color, apply grade, and that one still of the grade of that one at the back is applied to all. So, and if I make a change and change this to some crazy color, I can make another still, go back in here, I can delete that if I want, or just keep it for reference, make another still, it'll pop up here and I can apply that to different ones. So that's, you know, it's a very cool thing. If you're using the same sort of model camera in the same room somewhere else and you've done a really cool grade, you can apply it to different shots and things like that. That does work. I think that that's a good way to get started if you're using the same, like a lot of GoPros, or the same sort of camera, DJIs. So once you find your own little color grade that looks fantastic, make a still and apply it. All right, one last little thing we're going to do here in our basic edit is we're going to throw in some audio and sync it with our final product, and we're going to output it. So what I'll do is I'll grab my bounce, which is just a WAV file, and I'll just bring it in here, drag it down to the bottom, move him over to the left. Let's just make these a little smaller, just so we can see the waveform. Zoom in, and let's move it to get started. Just solo it and have a listen to what we're listening to.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So it's just on the first bang, right? Entry, so we'll just find where that is. It's really basically, there is the first bang on the film clip. So let's find that. Slip ahead to make sure that we are in sync, that all of our waveforms are lining up. It looks good. So I had that soloed now. It's the only piece of audio that's going to play. It's basically replacing all of the other sound files that came along to the video. Let's have a listen.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Go over here in the middle. Okay, so that looks great, sounds great. Obviously, the mixing, the Fairlight button is where you go in. You can see the one that's soloed, and you can add EQ or compression or anything to it. But obviously, I've mixed this in Logic, in multi-track in another piece of software, so that's fine. If you were to, you know, make any audio edits, this is where it is. Dynamics for your compression, EQ, you've got different effects that you can add, some of your own effects that you've outboard stuff that you have installed or subscribed to. This is a very powerful mix engine, and you can do automation and all sorts of stuff in here. So we're ready to output. Remember, the last part of your video is the last part, so if your audio hangs over, then it will go to black, your video will go to black, and the audio will just continue on. So your very last thing is the very last thing. I'm going to just find the end. And I might just stop it about there and fade it to black by just going like that. Just make sure the audio is back as well. Fade the audio out as well. And that'll be the end of our video. So go into delivery. Up here I'm going to name it. Heat is on test. I'll put it wherever I want. I'll put it probably inside the same folder as where my Logic session is. Press save. That press replace because I'd made one earlier. Nothing else in here I really need to change. I can see that it's still at 4030 by 1704, or if you're in 4K, whatever you set your thing at, 3840 by 2160, whatever that is, whatever your frame rate was. I can change this down if I want. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Or I can just use one of their 1080, 1280, one of their already, you know, templates in there. So custom is where I normally go. Add to render queue. It appears up here, and I press render all. Depending on how fast your computer is, it'll spit it out. This tells me it's going to take me, you know, 3 minutes or so for that to spit out. And that will give you the high-res, you know, file with all your full edits, all the color, everything included. So that's your basics of DaVinci Resolve. There's no real tricks in here. I work with green screen stuff as well. My logo's in green screen. There's a bunch of other little tricks I'd love to show you, but that'll be in a different video. I don't want to overcomplicate this one for now. So hopefully you have learned something from this, enough for you to dive in and start doing multi-shot edits, or even if you're just syncing up some audio to a video that you've got, you know that the bottom guys down here are sound, top one's a video, and solo means it's the only one playing, mute, 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 all of those things. So hopefully that's enough for you to get started. If this has been helpful to you, please subscribe to me, and I'll be back to show you more soon. Bye now.